Thanks, everybody. I'm going to do a presentation on the other project I brought to CRX. This is a project I started a number of years ago, and it was an attempt to do like a modern style user interface for the Commodore 64. So I called it cOS. And then, again, my contact information is up there. So this goes back to when I first kind of got my Commodore out of the attic in 2013. I hadn't used it in probably 20 some years, and I really kind of missed programming. So I got the Commodore out of the attic, I started doing some basic programming and things, but I really wanted to learn C because I thought that was more modern and more transferable. So I settled on like a loader program as project I was going to do to learn C. So I found that there's this pretty darn good compiler, CC65, for the Commodore 64, so I figured that out and used that and started doing programming on that. So then I started figuring out what this loader was going to look like, and so I settled on an imitation for iOS, and so hence I called it cOS. So I debuted this in 2015, and then there was another version in 2016, and now there's a new commemorative version with the CRX logo on it that I have this year. So there was a lot of firsts for me in this project. I never moved the VIC-2 bank of memory before. I certainly had never done any interrupts or VIC-2 tricks, but this is programmed in C, so it doesn't really lend itself to that anyways. But to accomplish what I did, I used custom characters for all the icons on the screen, and I used sprites for the pointers. So yeah, it's written in C, it's compiled, but it is kind of slow. It's almost like basic slow when it redraws the screen, which gives it that cool retro feel. And then I got this thing called, this program called MenuPeta, and you write these script files and it actually generates these menus. And I don't know if I was hungry when I named it or it's really just a pain. But then I added a touchscreen to the interface, and it really took on that whole feel of being a modern, like iOS type device. So I'll demo it here. I'll transfer the video up here. Run right past it again. So this is, when you boot, this is the CRX version. When you boot it, you get the main screen, and you see at the bottom it's got the 3 dots and one's filled in. That's just like on your iPad or iPhone showing you're in menu 1. And if you touch and swipe on the screen, it will go to menu 2. Touch and swipe again. Uh-oh. It thinks I poked something.
Just like my iPad.
Yeah, just like your iPad. And so there is a built-in home button on the Commodore 64. So I'll reload it. But so it does page flipping, and then it also has a group function, so you can group icons in different groups. So we'll see that in a second. So we'll do the page flip again. Page 2, page 3, let's go back. Okay, so here's the groups, like if I select the picture group, so it goes to the hard drive, or the floppy drive. So now it's loading the picture group from the floppy drive. And I did forget to bring a joystick up here, but you can cursor around too. So I played with different icons for the selection, so if you don't have a touchscreen installed in your Commodore 64, you can use a joystick or the cursor keys. And so, you can cursor around, go to different groups, loads it from the floppy drive. And this is a flippy disk because, I was trying to put the normal things you'd find on a tablet computer or a phone. So I have both sides populated on that. So let's see. So most of the files that are on here were written by other people, and they're like freely downloadable on the internet, so I didn't feel bad about putting them on here. So, we've got games, of course. Oh, so this is the, supposed to be the video menu, so the cursor looks like a play button. So I had fun with that. Of course, we have games, we have videos, and these are really like kind of the glitchy pet ski glitch art stuff. So they're kind of fun to play with. I'm not going to show those to you right now, though. There's music on here. Of course, it's SID files. Pictures, mostly bitmaps and color bitmaps. So on the 2015 version, I had some productivity apps on there, and I had one that looked like Microsoft Word, and you'd click on it, and it would load up, and it would be SpeedScript. So it's kind of a geeky inside joke. And for some reason, this one didn't, on this version of the disk, it didn't appear on the menu, because I must have screwed it up. But there is a thing on here. Which is a fun project I did too, that is included on here. So it's on the back side of the disk. It's the missing Windows 9. So now we know it was really targeted to the Commodore 64. Oh, looks like we're getting some updates. Good to know.
Patch a patch. Patch a patch.
So it's got a really retro, cool user interface. We got Microsoft Bob helping us out. So if you get a copy of this disc, play with this. There's still a hidden feature in here that I don't know if anybody's ever found.
Windows 10 upgrade.
What's that?
The Windows 10 upgrade.
No. We don't force people to upgrade. Click on the X to upgrade. What? Oh. Okay, so one other fun thing I did, I'm gonna load it while I talk about the touchscreen and how that works. So reload the main menu. Yeah. Go to the second page, go to the third page. Oh. Is it only? Okay. Sorry, it is on the other version. The 2015 version. If we have time for this, this is kind of fun. So let's talk about the touch interface. I bought this this touchscreen off of DigiKey, and so it's an off-the-shelf touchscreen that I attached to the front of this LCD monitor. I've also bought a interface for it so that it talks RS-232, and so then I brought the RS-232. Here's the. I brought the RS-232 in, and then I used my Peak Peripherals modem interface that I used in the 80s to bring it into user port. So I think it was the slowest setting that the hardware supported was 1200 baud. So it's talking back and forth only at 1200 baud. And of course, there's a whole data packet with structure to it. So even the data that I'm getting on the X and Y coordinates is a subset of the whole 1200 baud packet. I tried to go 2400 baud, but it seems to be not work very well on the Commodore 64 and would not talk to this modern equipment. So what I'm loading here is like every modern user interface has its own assistant. So there's Cortana and Siri and Alexa and whatnot. I'm forgetting one. But so cOS had to have its own assistant. So I took together and stole and borrowed the best technology from the 80s to try to create an assistant. So that's what I'm demoing here. See if I can turn up the volume.
Why do you ask?
Oh, it's helpful.
This is a wise crabby Siri.
So it's not very fast either. So it goes on and on. It's actually not very helpful. It's like the world's worst assistant. Okay, so let's see what else I just wanted to say here. Okay, yeah, there's two last things that I wanted to show real quick. I don't know why I'm going back to this. I'm going to show you on the Commodore screen. So in 2016, I came up with this, and it's cOS Paint. So we'll load that. Oh, it's a flippy, so I gotta flip the disk. So this is a touch paint program for the Commodore. Let's start it. And we can select whatever color we want to paint with. And then paint on the screen with our finger. So it's kind of fun to play with. So, you know, of course it'll be at my table, so come and play with it if you'd like. Let's see, what did I do last night? So you can all make fun of my artwork ability here.
Yeah.
Big, bold, blocky text. So that was kind of fun to put that together. And then, let's see, one last thing I think that I wanted to hit the home button. Oh, I'm on the back side of the disc, of course. One other fun thing I did with this. Here's the main selector, looks like a Commodore logo. So any good, you know, product, it needs to be jailbroken. So you can jailbreak it and then create a simulated Amiga. So let's do that, it's loading up. Now your 64 is now an Amiga.
Nice.
And then let's just look at the back one. If you want to have some weird desire to make it look like a Mac. Yay, we got a Macintosh. And then, of course, we got to do the DOS one and make fun of DOS.
When's Geos coming out?
Boo, it's ugly. It's DOS. Okay, so that's some of the fun I had with it. I spent a lot of time doing different graphics and things, and it was a lot of fun. But it was good to go back to this project and play with it again. So I do have these discs available at my table, so if you're interested, I'm just asking for a little donation to cover the material, but if you're interested in playing with one of these, please stop by. All right, thank you all. Any questions?
Yeah.
Thanks.